Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It is Elsa 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Ari. Ari is here. She was here right as I pushed that button. She was here just as I pushed that button. Thank you so much. So, we are here. This is Unsolicited Advice. I appreciate all the support everyone has been showing this segment. It has really kicked off, and we're just going to continue to do this. Though the next show is not going to be on Thursday, it will be on Friday. I have some graduation events to do with my graduating senior that I'm exhausted already. Okay, I'm exhausted, and graduation ain't till late next week, and we still have two other events to do. So let's say hello, Samantha. Welcome on in. Welcome in. We are here for unsolicited advice, and we always start mild to spicy. And the Mother's Day show, I have been asked a lot of questions about the video that I decided to show. So I have some stories too coming up for Father's Day. So we will commemorate all these big events with big unsolicited advice. Okay. I know. It's quirky. I've been asked, how do I read these things with a straight face? Life is lifing. Okay. My life in the past has prepared me that I can read all of this stuff with a straight face. Thank you, Samantha. Congrats, my grad. Yes, thank you so much. I know he's looking forward. The school actual program is over, but all he has to do now is just finally walk across the stage. So let's start with our first story. As you come in, please make sure you are liking and that you are subscribed to the channel. And let's get to the very first story or request for unsolicited advice. Okay, so this young lady is asking, should she miss, out on an academic, opportunity for her boyfriend? Says, do I, a 21-year-old female, miss my boyfriend, who is 24-year-old male's birthday for an academic opportunity? I just got accepted to a university, a super competitive academic week-long seminar in Alabama, Sweet Home, Alabama. I'm not from the US, and I'll be going on a full scholarship. Tuition, housing, travel, stipend, all covered. It's a huge opportunity for me professionally and academically, and it aligns perfectly with what I want to do long term. The issue? The seminar falls during my boyfriend's birthday. I missed his birthday last year too because it was for a similar seminar. He told me back then how much it hurt not having me around, and he's already mentioned that he really hopes I'll be here this year. That said, when I told him I would, miss university, he was supportive. He said he wouldn't hold me back if I really wanted to go, but I know it would mean a lot to him if I stayed. I can always try to go to the seminar next year. I'm ready to go a few others this year, except this university is the most competitive. I want to go. I also don't want him to feel like he's constantly second to my goals. We've been together 4 years and I love him deeply. Would I be selfish for going again? Would she be selfish for going again? Thank you, Ari. Ari also said, yeah, girl, he'll have many birthdays. This won't come along again. See, I would say that, but she said she did it last year. But now this is a new program and it's the most competitive. I'm all for education. I'm just throwing a little bit of salt out there to spice things up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Samantha said, thank you, Ari. If he loves you as deeply as you love him, he will understand. I agree. I totally agree. Why do we need to celebrate a birthday on the birthday? I just don't understand. For me, we can celebrate your birthday the week before or the week after I come back. We can celebrate at any time. I don't need to be there on the day of your birth. I wasn't there on the actual day of your birth, but that's just me. It may sound a little bit cold-hearted to some. Moon Dust Angel, thank you so much for being here. She said, if you really that worried about it, Could he not come to the location with you? Could you not celebrate one evening after the seminar he has finished? So I understand that, and Ari does too. Like, right, he could come along if it's that hard pressed to celebrate on the night of. But remember what she said. She is not from the US. Hey, to go to Africa. Thank you so much for being here. She said she's not from the US. And that is what kind of threw me for a loop a bit. Maybe he also is not from the US. And so coming all the way to the US, both of them may be a little bit hard to swing financially. And then we don't know what Border Patrol gonna do. I mean, let's talk about the climate we're in. Samantha said, technically every day is a birthday. So he truly should understand. He should. We don't have to celebrate on the day. My birthday, I'm low key with it. I prefer, and my husband and I, we do a big travel trip, in the year that celebrates both of our birthdays and our anniversary. We do something like big experiences. So again, I don't need to celebrate on my day. The day will pass and my husband won't even remember it's his birthday. Okay? He will. I mean, happy birthday. He's like, what day is it? It's my birthday? He don't remember even his own birthday. So I am with y'all. This is an academic opportunity. It is an opportunity for your future. Okay, you got your scholarship, everything is paid for. He's got to understand that's his mama fault. Okay, let's give it a stack. That's his mama and daddy fault that his birthday falls in the summertime when these programs happen. Mama and daddy was getting it on the fall, and so when it came back around, his birth was around the June, July, August time. So again, I blame mama and daddy. I blame mama and daddy on this one. Moon Stanger says, I'm wondering, are they from a different culture where birthdays might be celebrated differently? Could be. Could be the birthday itself is huge. It has to be on that day. I don't know many cultures like that. And I will, acknowledge my ignorance of that fact. I don't know many that it has to be celebrated on your day. But again, this is a young lady. She's in university. She's getting scholarships. There are different programs. This seems to be, in her industry, and especially in college, that this is the time for conferences. This is the time for the colleges to invite scholarship, academic folks to come join them for that week-long program. This is your mom and daddy fault. Okay? This is your mom and daddy fault. This is the doctor that, helped with your birth. I'm going to stick with that. Okay? I'm going to stick with that. To go to Africa is saying it's an excellent point, Moon Dust Angel. They may be from a different culture because she did say she's not from the US. And she said everything is being paid for by the program. So, what is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? The chat and I seem to think keep on going. Go to this program, gain the academic knowledge you need for your future. Hey, y'all may be both a part of each other's future, and this would certainly help you succeed. But just for one day versus a week, yeah, I'll just go out with him either before I leave so he can have that warm, fuzzy feeling, while I'm gone, or, plan something really nice on the return. But again, whether it is culturally, as Moondust Angel is citing for us, it could be that you need to allow for your partner to, follow what they need to succeed. It's only temporary. She's not going to be in school forever unless she's a professional student. Then you just got to get your money together, get your job together, and make sure the week of your birthday you are available to travel with her. There's a compromise here. There's no need for any kind of pull and tug. There's no need for ending a relationship. This is just a need of compromise and understanding for the while. And he's got to understand it. It ain't his fault he was born on that day. As I said, I blame mama and daddy. Y'all leave your unsolicited advice for this young lady in the comments below. And let's go to the next one. This one, ooh, the boyfriend doesn't want to take her out on dates. Boyfriend does not want to take her out on dates. Okay, I didn't number these correctly in my notes, so Bear with me. So my 23-year-old boyfriend won't call me, a 21-year-old female, beautiful. Okay? 23-year-old male, 21-year-old female. She says he won't call her beautiful or take her out on dates, but still expects intimacy. So my boyfriend and I have been together for over a year, and he lives with me and my parents' home. He used to be super loving and romantic, but the last few months he was completely stopped. I've asked him multiple times how come he never calls me pretty or takes me out on dates, and then he just flips it back to be my fault. I'll always call him handsome, but I've stopped calling him that since he refuses to call me pretty or take me on dates. Even when we could go on dates, I would pay for 80% of them. The other week was his birthday, and he got real pissed because I didn't have intimacy with him, and he pushed me off of him because I just wanted to cuddle. I don't think I have to be intimate with him just because it's his birthday. And he doesn't even make me feel beautiful, so it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not trying to be full of myself, but everyone tells me I'm attractive except for him. I also found thirst traps saved on his camera roll of blonde girls who look nothing like me. I've got a bunch of tattoos as well. I don't know what to do since I don't want to kick him out, but I also can't keep letting him treat me like this. What do you guys think I should do? Oh, wow. Mm-mm-mm. Is the boyfriend in the room with us? Because that don't sound like a boyfriend. Okay. To go to Africa says she's delusional if she considers him to be a boyfriend. Mm. Ari agrees with you to go to Africa. Samantha says, yes, sadly, this is an easy one. Sis, move on. Put him out. Samantha said, put him out of your parents' house. Now we gotta know how long has he been there. You know, y'all keep moving people into your places and don't realize there's certain resident rights when you have somebody there. Standard states, if they live with you for 30 days or more, they got some squatters' rights, they got some tenants' rights. You're gonna have to formally evict him if you don't just leave. Y'all gotta be careful letting people come live with you. Moondust Angel said he sounds like a walking red flag. He's living with you and at your parents' house. Clearly had it far too easy if he feels he can be demanding intimacy and giving nothing more. Kick him to the curb. Ari says the eviction process cause he sounds like he will squat there and put up a fight. I think that's what, or pitch a fit. Not sure which one you meant, Ari. The only thing that distinguishes him from any man off the street is that he is sharing her body and house with him. Now, that's the thing. So he's living with your parents. We have not heard if he's helping with any bills. Okay? We haven't heard if he's paying the light bill. Okay, thanks, Ari. Pitch a fit. We haven't heard if he is paying a light bill, the water bill, the internet, because he's using everything. I'm sure he's doing laundry too. I'm sure he got to eat there. What's going on? Then 80% of the time when y'all go on dates, you're paying. Is he just not working? Or where's his money going? That would be my question. Where is the money he's saving by living with you and your parents? Where's that money going? What is he doing with it? What are his other expenses? Okay, he has a cell phone. Does he have a vehicle? Does he have a vehicle insurance? Where is his money going? We need an audit of his books. Moondust Angel said, I'm only asking because I'm not sure myself of why would someone sleep with someone who treats them so badly. I don't understand. I know I couldn't do that, and it couldn't be me. Couldn't be me either, Moondust Angel. Could not be me. Samantha says, always forget about that darn eviction aspect. Why move these cats in? Exactly. Now, here's a little kernel, okay? And this is based on your county, based on your city, based on your state. Not in this situation. But if you have someone who is, if you have someone legitimately not there, you can go to your local police department and have them trespass. And that will bypass the need for certain tenancy. That is if Your county, city, state allows it. Moon Dust Angel, because they're in delusion. It's the same with Tati on Never Ever Met, who stays with Clavassier. Thanks, Ari. You call him Clavicle. His mama called him Clavassier. To go to Africa says it doesn't appear that he has any incentive to leave. Exactly. He has access to her and her body. He has access to a roof over his head. The meals and the dates, 80% she's paying for. He's paying for 20%. Where's his money going? Shouldn't he be saving for y'all to get an apartment together? Have you seen the books? Have you seen the accounts? Because you don't have to have access to the accounts, but at least watch him, pull up his bank account so you could see, okay, are we on par for the money that we need to put together so we can have a deposit for an apartment? We need to get out of my parents' house. We need to get out of my parents' house. They're in their 20s. This is the time to save up as much as possible. And while you're saving, make sure you throw some, hefty amount in your retirement account, okay? What are his future plans, and does he have any? His future plan is to stay there, okay? Stay there until his birthday so he could get some, and he didn't get some. So what is his plan now? Her plan, I hope your plan, young lady, is to have him removed from the premises. Have him removed. Because what I'll tell you right now, what I have learned from family, is before you let anyone into your place, you have an agreement as to when they will leave. So I had an aunt, she'll help you in rough times, but she'll be like, oh, you want to come stay here? Or you staying here at my house? When are you leaving? Okay, I'll give you 30 days, 60 days. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with you that long. And you have a written, I plan to leave on this date. Shout out to my aunt. Ari said he also sounds like David from Maps, except he's on someone else. Or someone else's house. Yeah, David on Maps. Yeah. Not going to touch that one. But y'all, please leave your unsolicited advice for this young lady. I say get him gone, get him out of your parents' house, get him out of your life. He doesn't have to say you are the, best thing since sliced bread, but he needs to show his appreciation for you. He needs to make you feel wonderful. You have been trying to do the same for him. It's an imbalance there that just doesn't work. So Samantha says, I wish our parents would have established the rules of engagement from the start. Exactly. And we don't know. We don't know. Some folks, I'm a boy mom, full disclosure. Some folks with their daughters, they can't say no to their daughters. And I'm sorry, to move the boyfriend in? Yeah. And then we at my parents' house, and you want to be hot and heavy? That's a little odd to me. I'm at my parents' house at their age, 20-something years old, at her parents' house. You don't even have a deposit for an apartment. You don't even have the money for dates. What are we doing? She and her parents have serious issues. Yes. Why do they have this man living there with them and their daughter? Samantha, I don't understand how she even likes wanting to bring a man up in her parents' house. When I was living with parents, I couldn't even think about bringing in a boy. Now, they're in their 20s, so it must be a generational thing, because I agree with you, Ari. I wouldn't even think, could my boyfriend come live with us? No, what? It's hard-pressed to even ask if he could come and stay for dinner. It's hard-pressed to say, can he stay for dinner? Can he live with us? How do you bring that up? Moon Dust Angel said, we don't know that he doesn't have the money. He could just be choosing not to spend it, and she could be accepting it and being like a doormat. Exactly. He could be choosing not to spend on her. Now, usually when he don't want to go out with you, but he still wants access to you, mean you ain't the real girlfriend. You ain't the top girlfriend. You the person on the side. Because what? He don't want to be seen in public with you because his girl gonna find out later. Aria, Samantha is agreeing with your assessment about bringing a boy to the parents' house. I need the love of my life to have some pride. Yes, Samantha. Yes, I mean, we can have hard times, but you need to come in with your own plan. Also, what are her parents' relationship? I'd be interested to know what kind of relationship she observed between them growing up. Maybe she thinks this may be normal. It could be. I could give her that. I could give her that. Samantha said in my Kojo voice, have some pride, have some pride, have some class. Kojo's voice is coming up in the chat. Have some pride, have some class. I can't do the British accent. I'm sorry, Ari. So y'all, please leave your unsolicited advice for this young lady. We're like, get him gone, get him got out of your parents' house, out of your life, and move it along. And if you got to do the eviction, start now, because some states it's 30 days notice, 45 days notice of vacating the premises. But find out first, or maybe don't just throw his stuff out, because he may know his legal rights. But if you don't, handle your business. And parents need to handle it too, and talk to her. Nobody else coming up in our house. You need to move out with your boyfriend. Y'all, let's move on to the next one. And while I am looking for it in my notes, please make sure that you have liked, you have shared, and you have subscribed. So this one, the young lady says, my boyfriend, 32-year-old male, won't give me, 28-year-old female, an address to send his birthday gift to. I am a 28-year-old female, and my boyfriend, a 32-year-old male, have been together for 6 months. We are long distance. Everything is going well. We talk on the phone a lot every day. Before a week ago, when our jobs changed, we were on the phone all day via phone. So I know he doesn't have a side relationship. Here's the issue. We send each other gifts. He sends them to my job or house, and I send to his Dropbox pickup place. A month ago, I asked for an address to send him a gift that cannot be sent to a pickup location. He kept putting it off. I agreed to send it to his dad's work. He agreed, but didn't give me the address because he wanted to see if his dad will be there. His dad ended up out of town, so I couldn't do it. So there went that. He told me he doesn't want me to look up his address because it's in a bad place. That's why he won't give it. Well, his birthday is coming up, and I've been talking to him about getting him a cake made and delivered to him at his dad's work. He seemed happy about it at first, but now, as we're getting closer to his birthday, he has been iffy and not giving me the address and telling me not to get him anything. It makes me feel off about it. My boyfriend knows the address for my job and house. He has been sending things to me that are more expensive than what I have sent to him. Is this something I should worry about? She wants to know if she should be worried. Ari said, all day, do you? I can't be on the phone all day working and talking to my significant other. I'm with you, Ari. All day on the phone. You don't have a job. She's on the job, on the phone with him. Hey, High Vibe. Thanks for being here. Glad you came in. Ari said, girl, run. He living with the main chick, claiming it's a bad area. Ari, you ain't lied. It's like, oh, you know my address is long distance, and you know my job address, you know my home address. Girl, when he gave you that Dropbox location, was your clue for you to have a Dropbox. Why does he know where you lay your head? How did y'all meet? Just like the other lady, he ain't her boyfriend. Maybe he's homeless or in prison or living with the previous lady you discussed. Maybe he's living with someone else. He can't have stuff delivered to the house. He can't have that cake delivered to the house, and she wondering, who's sending you a birthday cake? Samantha says, yeah, he doesn't want to be tracked at all. No, he don't want to be tracked. Don't look it up. Don't look his name up. Oh, no. High Vibe said, girl, you don't have a boyfriend. You have a phone buddy. You better preach. Snaps. High Vibe, that is some snaps right there. You have a phone buddy. And Ari said a pen pal, if you will. A pen pal. But it got to be a phone buddy because they're talking on the phone all day. But it could also be a pen pal where you writing. She says she's been delivering gifts. He been sending her expensive things. Now, we here at Unsolicited Advice, we like numbers. So when you say expensive, I need to know what is expensive. Because if you're having a cake delivered, okay, okay, what's a cake delivery? Because most places I know a cake delivery, you could get a cake 6 inch, 10 inch delivered. If you get a local bakery, it could be less than $100. So what is expensive? So he's sending you things more than $100. What exactly is he sending you? We need a list of items. We need a price list. We need to know what you consider expensive. But the fact that he know where you live and work, and you know where his drop box is, and where his daddy worked, he don't want you knowing his information or details. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Munda Angel says she should ask to meet with him to give him the gift in person and see what his response is. Because that would probably tell her what she needs to know. Exactly. Say, okay, you don't want to tell me where you are. Just show up at the drop box. Show up at the drop box location with the cake and see what he says. So-called expensive gifts are to throw her off track. Yes, it could be love bombing. It could be like, oh, he is so into me. Look at what he sent me. But I need to know what is expensive. I need to know what is expensive. Because for me right now, buying me a 60 count of eggs is expensive. For me right now, filling up my gas tank filling it all the way up is expensive. It's more than that cake. Okay? Sometimes I think we know things, but we don't want to admit them to ourselves, so we ask others, essentially confirm what we are thinking. When they say, hey, I'll roll up at the Dropbox. Ari, we were on the same thought process. Is this a catfish? Has she ever seen him in person? That is a great question, Samantha. We always have deeper questions. We say we talk on the phone all day. We don't know what he looks like. Have we done video calls? She never said we did video chats. She never said that. We are on the phone. So should I assume phone could also mean video chats, or phone is strictly voice? Is that my age thinking that phone is strictly voice? To go to Africa says if he doesn't chat with her online, he might really be homeless or in prison or have limited access to the internet. But that wouldn't explain, then who's picking up the stuff out of the Dropbox? And how could he be on the phone with her all day? How could he be on the phone? Cell block A doesn't mean cell phone all day. So that's my thing. Limited access to the internet. They're on the phone all day. Or at least the way she said all day. I'm going to say it like maybe 5 out of the 8 hours that you're working, you're on the phone with him. That's what I think as all day. For me, heck, 5 minutes on the phone while I'm at my job is too much. That feel like all day to me. High Vibe say, I say block the number and move on with your life. Ari agrees. I'd stop responding myself. I typically don't block unless it becomes too much like harassment. Understood, Ari. Personally, for me, if I'm with someone for 6 months and they're already sending me a lot of gifts, that would be a red flag because it would be something I know I can't return financially. Who has the funds to be sending all these kinds of gifts anyway? Right? She said he's been sending her gifts as well as she's been sending him. Except he willing to give up his father, we assume that's the truth, his father's work address and the Dropbox address. Girl, he could be taking your gifts and reselling it online. I'm just thinking. Girl, what we saying here in the chat is move on, move it along. This long distance thing, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna last. You don't even know where he lives. It's been 6 months. Forget the birthday. Order the cake now. I ain't gonna ever say no to cake. Order the cake and enjoy the cake that you bought. Okay? And let it go. Consider it like you purging him out of your system. Enjoy the cake. High Vibe said the blocking is really for her benefit to not be tempted to respond to the calls. Yeah, she might be tempted. She has very low standards. She needs to work on her self-esteem. She needs to work. Let's end it right there. She needs to work at work. At work, she is talking to this man. What is the quality of her work? What is she doing for work? Because this is sounding like, I ain't got much to do. This is a desk job. I'm moving paper. I'm not sure. We need to work at work. He needs to work at work. He on the phone all day too. What is he doing? So y'all let her know in the comments what is your unsolicited advice. The chat and myself, we are certainly telling her, listen, lady, listen, pitch it up to the game. I say order the cake and have the cake, in remembrance of his birthday and block him. Block him. The chat say block him. And just enjoy the cake and say this is the end. This cake ends. This is the end with him and move it along. Find somebody closer. Find somebody where you would at least know where they live after 6 months. 6 months is a while. And we buying expensive gifts within 6 months. Yeah, there's something you're trying to butter me up from. Yeah, I ain't with it. So y'all, please leave in the comments what your thoughts are for her. Let's get to the next one. Okay. So this one, he is complaining. We always have um we always talk about the gentlemen and their lack of hygiene. This time it's a lady. He is asking, what do I, 24-year-old male, do about my girlfriend, a 20-year-old female, lack of basic personal hygiene and social skills? I've been dating this girl for a while. We need numbers. What's a while? She moved into my apartment, and I've learned that she doesn't wash her hands after using the bathroom regularly or brush her teeth without being reminded. When I asked her about it, she just gets mad and asks, what's the big deal? Additionally, our relationship has done a 180-degree flip from the start where we were happy, very romantic, both physically and mentally, to now where she hardly talks to me or hardly touches me. It feels like I'm being taken advantage of. I feel committed to try to make it work, but she's an adult and her actions seem a little alarming. You put a little red flag here. How do I go about making her understand that the way she treats me isn't okay and that her personal hygiene needs to be worked on? Thank you, Tanya, to be here. I'm sorry you had to walk in on that one. Welcome in, Tanya. What a way for you to come on in. Y'all, wash your hands. You need to get her gone. This is another apartment where we need an eviction notice. We need her out of there. We need her out of your place because we don't have to call public health department. We don't have to quarantine your house. You're going to have to do a deep, deep clean, a sanitizing of every surface. Ari says the social skills I can try to overlook, but the personal hygiene, nah, fam. I knew 2 women in college who had horrible hygiene. Samantha is queued up on what I was looking at. No brushing of her teeth. It's a wrap right there and then. Hey, Dr. B, so glad you can be here today. So, y'all, she not using the soap and water upon leaving the restroom. What is happening? What is happening? Then she is not brushing her teeth unless she's reminded. Are we not doing this in like social class, home ec? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Just funky for what? Does she even want to do the do with her at this point? Forget do the do, Ari. Do I even want to kiss you? Because you ain't just got morning breath. You just got breath. You just got breath because you refuse to brush your teeth unless I remind you. I mean, it will be bells and whistles going off in the bathroom. Have you, it'll be Alexa, have you brushed your teeth today? It is time to brush your teeth and play a little jingle. And play a little jingle. After she will be so tired of hearing Alexa after every meal to brush her teeth. Young lady, what? Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. I know how I feel if I have like, a taco, if I have something garlicky. It is just like I need to get this taste out of my mouth. Young lady, are you not tasting what you are not brushing? I just don't understand. I don't get her. Ari says she got dragon breath. Girl, if y'all are Game of Thrones fans like I am, it's that blue dragon. It'll be the blue flame. High Vibe said, do they live together? He says he feels taken advantage of as if he's paying for her life. Yes. He did say she moved in with him and they've only been together for a while. That's why I said in the beginning, what is it? How long is a while? When did she move in? We need numbers. Who raised her? Has she ever had friends or family talk to her about it? I wonder. I don't know. Mundust Angel, unless she has severe mental health problems, there's no excuse for this bad behavior. And then she's fighting him when he brings it up. What? Yes, she is arguing with him. So again, yes, I agree with Moondust Angel. Sometimes, people's, how can I say it? When their hygiene is deteriorating, usually it does give signs of, depression. That's what we're told. But it's something to look at. She clearly, sir, I'm going to say she clearly had to be brushing and washing when y'all were dating. So now she moved in. Was the objective just to move in and be around you so that she doesn't have to do anything? Is she paying a bill? She probably thinks she don't have to pay the water bill because she ain't using it. She probably thinks she ain't got to pay the water bill because she just ain't using it. Is she turning the light switch on and off in the bathroom when she goes in to use it? That'll be the light bill. Is she paying a bill? Is she helping with any of the expenses in the apartment? That'll be my question. What are we doing, young lady? You're not washing, you're not brushing, you're not using the soap and water. Please. Tanya B said it's a no for me. My son is 16 and I ain't got to tell him to do these things. Girl. The rough part, you say your son is 16, the rough part for me when each of my sons was 16, when that hormone spike happened and the body wash they were using all the time that was working, stopped working because their pheromones, hormones, whatever, sweat glands changed up. Girl, why you just took a shower? And if I didn't know, I would be like, y'all ain't showering. But, doctors have warned that sometimes the soap, the body wash, their body changes. And so the body's reaction to the soaps change. So you got to find another one. Girl, and you bet I did. To Go to Africa said, apparently he doesn't believe that he can do better. That's too bad. I hope they're not substance users. Right. I hope they aren't. I really hope they aren't. He didn't seem like it, but it could be, there was hardly any punctuation in that post, but I can't hold that against him. He's just frustrated. He didn't think that he bought a ticket to Funky Town and that he's living in it. Apparently he did buy a ticket, and apparently she's the conductor, if not the driver of that train, or he just permanently in Funky Town. Now, sir, again, you have moved her in. How do we get her gone? You won't have to evict her, or you won't have to break your lease, or you won't have to have management if you're in a building. If she's not on lease, management put her out because she is not on the lease. Ari says, Alexa, play Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child. Yeah, she seemed like her goal was to get her hooks into him, move in, and I ain't got to do anything. I ain't even got to wash my hands. But sir, again, didn't y'all have weekend visits? Wouldn't y'all go out for a weekend trip? Didn't you have her over a couple times? Wouldn't you have her over a couple times just to know whether she does wash her hands after the bathroom? Hey, Just Rhonda, sorry you came in on this story. Y'all, that's Just Rhonda 01. Please make sure you go to her channel and you support. She does all the great housewives and the married twos and the, love and marriages on her channel. To Go to Africa, even men with their own personal hygiene issues are the first ones to tell women about their appearance and hygiene. Yes, y'all, they are. They're the first ones. So sorry, Rhonda, we're wrapping up this one. They knew each other for a while, been dating for a while. She moved in, and he realized that she ain't washing her hands after the bathroom. No soap, no water. And she ain't brushing her teeth unless he reminds her. Ari says maybe she ran the water for a little bit when she came over and gave the impression she washed her hands. I just need her gone, and I need the house to be sanitized. I need the whole house to be sanitized. Or you know what? Just move out. Somebody else needs to clean that petri dish because I cannot imagine. Ugh, I cannot imagine that. I'm sorry. But y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the comments below. Let him know she needs to go. They need to be done. And as Ari said, professional clean. Thank you, Ari. I was just saying, sanitize it. Call the health department. Do not put a black light in that house. Don't turn that on and let it glow, because you will find it glowing just about every surface. I'm sorry, sir. You will have to hire those professional cleaners, but do not turn on that black light to see where the germs are. Just pay somebody to take care of it. Y'all, let's get to the next one. And while I'm pulling up my notes, so make sure that you have hit the like, hit the share, and subscribe. So this is a 28-year-old female that has been reading books with intimacy scenes and is starting to resent her 30-year-old husband. 28-year-old female, 30-year-old male. Said, I've recently absolutely fallen in love with a series like ACOTAR and Fourth Wing. For those who are not big readers, these are fantasy novels, fantasy series. This is a huge industry. Okay? I have a super high intimacy drive. And a lot of the intimate scenes in these books literally play out my fantasies. My husband and I have sex about once a month because he has a low drive. And also, he is on Adderall, so it lowers it even more. Adderall is an ADHD medication, for those who may not know. He also is less experienced than me and very vanilla when it comes to intimacy. I believe he is 100% my soulmate, but I'm realizing that I really need more out of our intimate life. Is this normal? I'm scared that I'll eventually cheat. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Ari said, leave. If you're getting ick from your husband because of the smeg scenes in the fictional book, it's time to leave. But this is okay. Y'all, this is fiction. She's talking about fiction. Fiction that includes things like, fantasy fiction. Like the world of elves and, Merlin, and they are sirens, and it's not realistic. Aliens, and again, she should have assessed the situation before she got married. Yes, but again, was he on this medication when they met? Was he always like this, or is this a new development? But you are taking your fantasy from a book that someone else wrote, and you want that applied to your intimate life with your real partner. Maybe she could get herself a toy and spend some time pleasing herself during the times he doesn't. Maybe she could involve him with it, and they could be intimate that way. Really great thought, Moon Dust Angel, and they can certainly get an intimacy therapist or intimacy coach that can help with this. This is helpful, but you got to get your head out of those books. Tanya B said, we ain't here to play with her. She delusional. We ain't here to play. But young lady, you have got to realize there's fantasy and there's reality. Fantasy and reality. Samantha said, in this order, says be honest with your husband that you want to creep, and then get couples therapy to see if you can save the relationship. They need couples therapy. There's a lot more going on than she said. Also, her expectations are quite unrealistic because most of the things in the books would never happen in real life. I don't know the last time I saw Elf. I'm sorry. That's the point. Elle said she's getting the ick towards her husband because of them. Unless she goes to therapy, unpack this, she'll stay having the ick, and I don't see her doing this. If she says she might cheat. Again, lady, as we're saying, you have control over your behavior. You scared you may cheat, you need to control yourself. You say this is your soulmate, then you wouldn't want to hurt him or hurt the relationship by going out there. You need to put the book down. Now, y'all, as an avid reader, and by avid, I mean, even with this YouTube channel, I read over 200 books a year. Do not judge me. I read books, all varieties, from fiction, nonfiction, self-help, whatever comes across my recommendations that I like, I will read. And I mean read from front to back. If I start it, I'm going to finish it. So my thing is, you got to separate what you're reading from the reality you have with your husband. We are not in we are not in the valley of the kings. We are not in the fantasy fiction. You have a real life man here. You have real life person that you can touch and experience life with. So yes, he may have a lower drive and you have to explore, as the chat said, different ways to get to the promised land. That's what I always say. There are many ways to get to the promised land for y'all to get there together, separately, or with some navigational devices, i.e. toys. So as we said, yeah, don't cheat. Don't go out there looking for the fantasy that you only find it in the books. Certainly stay, work it out, try different things. You know, sometimes the joy comes in the experimentation. Sometimes that joy comes in trying to find out what works. It ain't work, but it can be enjoyable. So I said, I remember when 50 Shades of Grey hit, the topic came up in many a relationship. Yes, yes, and the gray area ain't for everybody. Because certainly everybody ain't her, and everybody ain't rich like him. 50 Shades of Grey had people all the way turned up. And I'm sorry, that is just fiction. And maybe I'm just a person that I can separate what I'm reading from what is reality. Because I'm sorry, if you're reading those books and you're seeing the fiction of it and you're thinking, oh, I can twist my body like that, it may not happen. It may not feel good to you. It feels good to read and you're putting it in your mind when you're reading it, but who's to say you won't like it if it's in person? And you say he's very vanilla. I need to know what vanilla means, because your vanilla and my vanilla could be two different flavors. There's French vanilla, okay? There is regular vanilla. They're all different flavors of vanilla. There's slow churn too. So I need to know exactly what vanilla means. Moondust Angel said, I read those books and found some of the stuff there extremely thrilling. However, I knew it was in a book and would not happen in real life, nor would I have wanted it to. Preach, Moondust Angel. Just Rhonda says, some things should be left a fantasy. Yes, go play the song Fantasy. Tony B said, twist your behind up and get hurt. You should consider discussing his low drive with the prescriber of the medicine to see if he can make an adjustment or change the medication. That is it exactly. If he's doing Adderall and he's an adult male, maybe they need to tweak it because his drive for his partner is lower. Because that, if he's already got a low drive and this is making it lower, or maybe it's just lower because of the medication. So yes, he needs to talk to his doctor. Maybe you need to go to that appointment as well. You are his wife, and you can't attend his doctor's appointment and say specifically what's going on. Because sometimes, I'll tell you, my husband, they ain't always disclosing everything. They don't take notes to the doctor's office. Hey, Jay Blake, we are coming to the end of this one where she's reading fantasy novels and reading all of the intimacy scenes, and she finds her husband a little vanilla now to her taste because she wants to have the fantasy from the books. Y'all put your unsolicited advice for this young lady, because we're like, go to your husband, go to his doctor's appointment, work this out, leave the fantasy in the pages of the book, on the tablet, or wherever it is, because this is not going to help your relationship, ma'am. Not at all. So let me get the next item, and while I'm doing that, please make sure you have hit the like button. So this one is, yes. So this one is talking about he had a girlfriend the whole time. The whole time. I gotta find it. This 30-year-old male had a girlfriend the whole time he was sleeping with me, a 30-year-old female. And we lived together. How do I move on? Did y'all hear that? He had a girlfriend the whole time he was living and sleeping with this lady. I'm only posting this because I need encouragement. I'm living in a situationship that has been sending mixed signals. Days ago, We were together intimately. And the next day, he brought a girl over who he said was his friend. He went to Walmart, got new pillows for his bed, and then when she came, he was in his room and locked the door. He told me he was going to sleep for a few hours, but when I went to the hallway, I could clearly hear his voice. I texted him and he ignored me, but still continued speaking. I walked up to the door and then I hear her making intimate sounds, moaning. And I started banging on the door and called him a liar. He opens it up and drags me into the room and pulls me to the bed. Tells me he's, showing me what dating him is like. I don't understand what this is supposed to mean. I went back to my room, called my friend, and started bawling, crying. I felt used. I felt distraught. I didn't know how I could be so stupid and blindsided. I'm hurt, and just any words of encouragement and how to rebuild after something like this would mean a lot. Y'all, how does she deal with this? I don't see any mixed signals, sis. It's pretty darn clear. Tell her. Rebuild by moving on. Girl, is it the security deposit you're worried about? Find some place to go. Find some place to go. So you are living there with him. What it's sounding, yeah, high vibe, speechless. What it's sounding like is that y'all were roommates, male and female roommates, and he went and got another lady over there, but y'all were roommates with benefits. That's what it sounded like. Y'all were roommates with benefits, but you thought you were girlfriend. Because if you said his room, I'm just dissecting what you said. If you said his room, then that means you've got your room. And that means y'all ain't in a room together. He bought pillows for his bed in his room. So that means y'all ain't together. Y'all just renting together and having benefits. But you thought you were a girlfriend. You didn't know you were in a situationship. To Go to Africa says he obviously doesn't love or respect her. It's time to move on. That's correct. Change the locks, donate his things to Goodwill, or sell them for money. A valuable is enough. Do not do what Ari said. Y'all do not do. Okay? What if his name is on the lease? You can't change the locks on him. Okay? We got to be rational here. We cannot sell his stuff or give it to Goodwill. That could be considered theft. We can dream about it. And if you know about Ally McBeal, that's a show. You could think, close your eyes, and visualize it and never do it. But don't do this. He didn't even tell you he was did he even tell you he was your girlfriend, or did you assume you were? Oh, did he tell you were his girlfriend, or did you assume it? Sorry, I got tongue tied there. So I said, say it. Hey, Lindsay Smith, glad you could join us. Glad you could be here with us. Hey, Unfiltered Doll, glad you could be here. He is her roommate if he has his own room. Yes, she's talking about he was sleeping with her. He got his own room. He bought new pillows for this new woman he brought by. But you say he was sleeping with me, roommating with me, but he brought a woman by, and then you hear the sounds coming from the room and you banging on the door. Girl, they're already banging. We don't need banging on the door. You know what's going on. He brought another girl at the house. But when you said he had his room, he got pillows for his bed, I knew that you were talking about y'all were roommates. And he brought another woman by, but you thought the roommate situation was girlfriend. Unless he said you were his girlfriend, you ain't his girlfriend. You ain't. You just a roommate that he was having fun with. Tanya said, one good player. Girl, we need 10 good players. One good player. He was trying to set up a 24-hour operation. Right. He probably was like, when are you supposed to be at work? When you supposed to be at work? How you know about the new pillows? Were you checking his pillows? How you know his new pillows? How do you know he has new pillows? Because you're there all the time. So, young lady, all I gotta say is you need to pick yourself up, get your stuff, and leave. Or if this is your place, get him to leave. This ain't gonna be well. He brought another woman around in your face. He went to his room and was having, how can I say it, right there, knowing you in the apartment. Some rocking, knocking of the boots was happening, and you were still in the apartment because she's a creep. She don't. He's a creep too because he knows she's there. He introduced the girl to her and took her straight to his room. I was carrying on. Not the noise demonstration, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The word when words fail me at the time, I gotta give you a little bit of a little bit of the slapping, the clapping of the skins. How about that? Is that better? The clapping of the skins. Sorry, Ari, for ruining his sensibilities. You know, stop, unclutch your pearls, unclutch your pearls. But yeah, he brought another woman right by you, took her to his room to carry on and do the horizontal mambo. Y'all know we got to find all kinds of words for it because of this YouTube algorithm. They were doing, they were getting skins. They were doing the horizontal mambo, whatever you want to call it. They were making sounds. You heard her making sounds. And yet here you are. Here you are, wondering what to do. Leave or get him gone. To go to clapping cheeks. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. When words fail me, I'll give you the sound effect. I'm sorry if that was too loud, Ari. Okay, I'm sorry if that was too loud. But I'll do better. Knocking the boots. Yes, knocking, rocking the boots. So y'all, let's get to the last one because that's the spicy one, and I know we're talking about it. I'm dead. Sorry about that. I have all kinds of words for it. I am very creative, and I do have a segment I'll be coming up with called Unsolicited Unscripted, where we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, whatever topic you want me to talk about, we will have an open dialogue. Of it'll just be Unsolicited Unscripted. I won't have anything scripted. It'll be what you wish to talk about. While we're waiting for all these shows to get started, I said we gotta have fun. We gotta have some fun with each other. So while we veer away, the last one is always about the horizontal mambo, the bumping uglies, about the clapping cheeks. The last one is always about that. So let's get to it. So this one is my 26-year-old boyfriend planned a threesome behind my back, 24-year-old female. I just found out a few hours ago, so forgive me if I sound upset. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We have an apartment and 2 cats together. Many times he's talked about marrying me, and I really thought I found the one. Now I'm heartbroken, and I don't know what to do. The entire time we've been together, he's only had male friends, and we've hung out together before. Now, recently, he's been talking about some girl that he met online years ago, and now she's back in our city, and we should, hang out together one weekend. I originally said okay, because he told me she was a lesbian. Then he let it slip that she's actually pansexual. And then I started getting a weird feeling. Eventually, I broke down and said I felt weird about it because what if she's interested in either of us? It would just make it weird. Then he admits she actually told him she is interested in both of us. Do I need to say that again? She is interested in both of us. I snapped and demanded to see his phone, but he told me he had already blocked her and deleted the messages. He showed me screenshots he took earlier, though, of him telling her he wouldn't mind if she was intimate with me because I was wife material. What the F? I told him he completely betrayed my trust. I couldn't believe he would do that to me. And he broke down crying, saying he did it because he thought he wasn't good enough and he could find me someone that was. I don't believe any of that crap. I feel like I've wasted 3 years of my life. I love him so much. I feel like he just spat in my face. I want to end this. Any advice on how I should handle this? Lindsay kicks us off with the ew. I love a good ew, ew. This ain't a good ew either. Ew. Run, Forrest, run. He planning threesomes, cheating scandals behind your back. If he's willing to do that, he's willing to do more. Also, get tested ASAP. Well, we don't know what else he's been doing behind your back, so that test sounds like it could be right up the alley. What do y'all think? There's a lot of layers to this one. There's a lot of layers. Follow your own advice. She said her advice is to leave. Her advice to herself is to leave, Rhonda. Leave. 3 years. Actually, it's not a waste. You learned something. You have learned something. He has taught you something. Okay? It is not a waste. Yes, he promised he'll marry you. But again, we ain't taking all those promises to the bank. She better ask him if he ever hung out with Diddy before she continues a relationship with him. Just might be the beginning. He might be too young. Maybe his children, maybe the Combs family. If he truly felt he wasn't good enough for her, why didn't he just leave? A lot of lies from that boyfriend. If you all saw Django Unchained, there's a lot of lies said at this dinner table. So to go to Africa, I mean, well, he has a lot of male friends. And at first, when I heard the title, I was scared. I thought he was trying to set it up with having one of the male friends come on through. When she started off saying he got a whole lot of men, all he got is male friends. And I met them and I hung out with them. I said, is it one of the male friends? Then she pulled a switcheroo on me and said it's a lady that he met online or knew online years ago. So here's Lindsay saying, I'm playing devil's advocate. Don't most men have the fantasy of a threesome, but many don't openly admit it. So, okay. At least he told her the truth. We will go down this rabbit hole with you, Lindsay. We always love an advocate around here. And we always like to veer off into the unknown around here. So Lindsay said, hey, at least he said this is his fantasy. And he told her the truth. But yeah, he told her the truth after her female intuition said, ask him. He didn't come out and say, hey, girl, I know, how about we do, add another person. And I got a perfect candidate. Let's pick someone. He didn't go into this together. He planned it without her. Polyamorous, I don't know. I thought at first. But he didn't plan it with her. Yes, he didn't cheat. But I don't buy the BS too with him saying he don't think he's good enough for her. But I agree with you, Lindsay. He did not cheat. He came to her. But that's, Lindsay, that's the thing. Do we consider the fact that he contacted this woman, sent her messages, planned to go out with her, with the girlfriend? He was planning for the three of them to get the boogie down. Some people may call that cheating. Some people may say it's on the way to cheating. And some may say, like you, Lindsay, that he didn't actually cheat, but he was planning on bringing someone else into their bedroom. So it's a slippery slope, Miss Advocate. Advocate Lindsay, it's a slippery slope. Because for me, it's like, you have been thinking about this. You have reached out to this woman. You have planned an event, or you planned us to meet. The woman, y'all have even talked about this, which she says she's into you and me. How much talking did y'all do before this? I know he didn't cheat, but he was heading us down a road that I didn't even know we were on a journey to. That's my thing. She had no idea that he's opening the relationship up to somebody else. No idea. Maybe he's curious like Fritz from Ready to Love Philadelphia. Maybe he is polycurious. But again, you gonna spring it on me? What if she did go out with this young lady? Let me be an advocate. What if she did go out to dinner that night? What if they did go hang out and chillax? How do we then bring the subject up? Like, honey, you know, Missy here, she coming back. She coming back with us to our place. How do you bring it up then? By then she's there in front of the girl, probably had a couple of drinks, hanging out. What are we doing? You're putting your girlfriend in a messy situation. Ari said no, not the polyester of it all. If y'all know Sahara on Ready to Love, she calls polyamorous, the polyester of it all. Shades of cheating. He took the I won't fess up unless I'm asked approach. Okay, advocate Lindsay, we have the other side here. It is a shade of cheating. Until she asked, he wouldn't have said anything. He's already been with this other woman. High Vibe said, hey, he done tested the water. He realizes that that other woman is good to go. He enjoyed her, and he wants to enjoy her with you. We have no proof of that other than the guilty way he was reacting. But he said he blocked her. I don't believe it. He said he blocked her. Yeah, she's fully ready to marry the guy, and he does one oops. Is there no second chance? Okay, advocate Lindsay, you coming out good today. You coming out real swinging. You coming out real swinging. So he made one mistake. So ladies, is there a rehabilitation? Is there a corrective action plan? Let's put this like work. Is there a corrective action plan for this young man to come back from the bowels of cheating to get this relationship back on track? Is there a way? Has he broken her trust fully? Or is there no second chance for him? There's always a second chance for those who wish to give you a chance. You know, I always say, you know, forgiveness is for the good Lord to give you, not me. I'll be done. I'll be thought process you gone out of my mind. Does this mean he's bound to cheat on her for life? That is the thing, Lindsay. That is the question that will be in her mind the entire time. And maybe that's why he only showed her his male friends. So again, yeah, that's a question she would have to think of. Will you ever see him in the light of every woman he comes across will be potential for him to bring into the bedroom with y'all? Samantha says, once again, it's a mistake. He was good until she asked him about it. Lindsay, do you know this dude? Lindsay, just Rhonda is asking, do you know this guy? This is a little deeper than a mistake. It's clearly a deal breaker for her. She's just scared to make the decision. Yes, as she said when we began this, that she is running on high. She's very upset. And this is a very emotional post. Most guys have bachelor parties where they do a heck of a lot more than that before they marry. I understand there are some that do. Most, as you said, do. I'm not sure you should be marrying that type, but you won't know, of course, until a bachelor party. If you show us who you are, believe them. Believe them the first time. So I understand what you're saying, Rhonda. I understand. Not Rhonda, Lindsay. I understand what you're saying. And yes, it's a mistake he can't come from if she's the forgiving type. We've been together 3 years. I need to think about it. When is the lease up? You know, we got to be rational about these decisions. We can't just up and just leave. This is a boundary issue. She should have a conversation with him. Hey, listen to me. And she better be happy this ain't after the ring, the wedding, and everything. Okay? She needs to be like, listen to me. Is this what you need in your life? Do you need a third person in here? Is that what you need in this room? Because if it is, I can't have that kind of relationship. And he needs to be open enough to say, yes, this is what I would like to have. This is what I would like to do. Whether it's once a year on my birthday, he needs to be open enough to tell her this is what he wants to be a part of his life. Or if it's just a one-time thing. But you got to be careful. Sometimes one time, people get a taste and then they want to keep having. So they have to be open and having that conversation. And yes, they could move forward. If she's like, hey, it's just one time, maybe I could grin and bear it. Or maybe she's like, it's a hard no. And she's like, I can't do this with you. And we have to figure out if you can live without this and still have me in your life. It's most men's dream. I don't know why. Girl, it's variety. It could be the same thing like the lady we just talked about that, she was just there reading the stuff in the books and wanted to walk on the wild side. Most would do it if they could get away with it, I bet. Some do. Let's not forget we ladies have fantasies too. We always talk about the men's fantasies because they're always quick to talk. Let's not talk about ladies got fantasies too. I noticed that most of the ladies are the ones commenting. That's why I also say that. If Trey was here, I ain't saying that. Felicia H said, just tapping in chat, I'm here for the spicy one. Hey, Felicia, glad you're here for the spicy one. So what would you do? Your significant other just planned a threesome behind your back. You thought you were going out to drinks with some young lady that he knew back in the day. And come to find out, this is going to be the third wheel. You didn't know till you asked him, wait a minute, this don't feel right. What if she wants one of us? And he tells you, no, she wants both of us. So that means he done put out an application, reviewed the applicants, and now he's made a decision as to who, and now it's just a matter of do the do. I'm just saying, that's just a little bit too much for me. They had to be having talks about this. For her to say, yes, she's okay. For her to say, yes, she's interested in both of you. There had to be conversations. Then the devil bit the dust on this one. Maybe. It'll be over for me. I don't care if we together 30 years with 10 kids. High Vibe says she gone. Lindsay, I'm sorry. If it was High Vibe, she gone. Ain't no forgiveness there. Ain't no forgiveness with High Vibe. But I still think they can still talk and see if this is for real, because we need to see how far he went in this application process. And Felicia said he greedy. Y'all, I tell you, I was thinking it was one of his buddies when we first talked about it. I really thought so, because she was going on about the dudes he talking to. It's nothing wrong with if it's one of his buddies. It just gets a different layer of the situation. If she was okay with it, if it was full disclosure and she was a consenting adult in this, fine. Y'all do what y'all want to do within the confines of your own relationship. But since she's like, I didn't know, and I didn't know till I had to kind of pry it out of him by asking, at least let me go. Let me be on your side, Lindsay. Let me be on your side, Lindsay. At least he admitted it. He hid the messages. He said he blocked her and deleted all the messages. Yes, he blocked it. He deleted it. He didn't want her to see how far the rabbit hole go. But I think that, he was honest. He said, hey, she was coming for both you and me. Okay? She was going to hang out for us. Lindsay said he could have lied and already cheated on her. He could have. He really could have. And he cried. Now, the bad part is crying don't move me, because I always feel like you're crying to manipulate me. I always feel like you're crying is to pull emotions out of me, and that's for you to control me. It is just something I think of. But, people genuinely do cry. But I'm like, you, all of a sudden you crying, and you are confronted with your lie or your withholding of the whole truth, and you crying? Why? I should be crying in her position, because you just betrayed my trust. You were out here interviewing a young lady to come into our intimate bedroom. Why are you crying? Because you got caught? Is that why you're crying? I know you're going to find that girl online or another one. So why are you crying? Exactly why are you crying? Here's a tissue. After you done dried up them tears, come and talk. We got to talk, because we really have something to talk about. Because how long you been thinking about this, planning this, trying to get this done without me? Now, there's one good thing. There was another show I watched. I don't see it anymore, called Seeking Sister Wives. Lizzie, I'm glad I'm making you laugh. We need laughter in this world. We do need laughter. Felicia said, not the tissue. I'm going to be nice. I have, facial tissue. I ain't going to just give you, a piece of paper towel. It'll be the soft kind. It'll be the soft facial tissue. Okay, go have your cry. Come back when we can have a talk. He wouldn't have been crying if he had gotten what he wanted. No, No, he wouldn't even be crying with joy. So there was another show I used to watch called Seeking Sister Wife, where these were people in poly, the poly of it all. Hey, shout out Sahara. Um, they actually, are seeking another wife within their polyamorous relationship or their poly household. And there was a wife going through the, telling the husband, and they were going through the interview process. Like, you can go out, you can have dinner. One husband went and he was knocking boots the first night at dinner, and his wife was like, no, 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 no. You have dinner, see if y'all have chemistry. Then I go out with her and see if we have chemistry. And that meaning, if we could, just even talk to each other. Then we go out with the kids and have a family day kind of thing. We kind of suss out if we want to bring this person into the fold and then into our intimate fold. But it wasn't a matter of sharing altogether, but a matter of if this person will be joining our life. Moon That's Angel said, it's mad. That's mad. I'm just too selfish and couldn't share my partner with any kind of threesome. But props to those who can. Yeah, props to those who can have their relationships however they wish. And I hate to say outside of a traditional way, but that's the only way to put it out there. As long as it's two consenting adults, or maybe three in this case, as long as it's consenting adults, have your relationship as you see fit. Make sure y'all are happy. Make sure y'all are communicating. Make sure that y'all are where you want the relationship to be. Because if it ain't, then we have two suffering people and maybe some kids. But this is a 3-year relationship. They've been together. She didn't say he vanilla. So what kind of spice you looking for? I saw a documentary on Mormon people who often share the same husband with like 6 or so women. It's crazy to me. It's wild to me because I don't know how you manage the personalities. Forget all the other. How do you manage the personalities? I can barely manage the people in the household. The ones I give birth to and my husband, and then we have 2 dogs. I cannot imagine having to manage romantic relationship with another person. It's just too much. Not a single tear shed. He would be punching the air in victory. Yes, he would be. He'd be rolling around in victory. But y'all, what is your unsolicited advice? We have Lindsay here who is advocating for forgiveness. Okay, this is the first time we've had some really good views with the chat where everybody's not on the same page. Lindsay is saying, hey, there could be forgiveness for him. They could talk it out. They could work it out. They can come through this and have a good, clear boundary in the relationship. Then we have High Vibe and say, no, it's a no for me, and I'm gone. So what is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? Munda Sanger said, do all men have this fantasy? Only some of them. Most men I think of also think most men would not actually want to do in real life, though. Well, the fantasy, though, we have been heard. Lindsay, please no, that is not a sponsor I need. um, most men, you'll hear it often than not, and usually people who watch corn, men who watch corn and see, the sharing of it all, they would, totally talk about, the fantasy of it all, that multiple people or multiple persons. But the one way I have heard to get out of this situation is if you suggest another male. Usually, not always. Usually. Because if remember we talked about this in a previous unsolicited advice, he's like, oh, let's bring somebody in. He's thinking a lady is like, oh yeah, let's bring a dude in. He ain't gonna like that. People don't like crossing swords. That's a very nice way of putting it for YouTube. Most gentlemen don't like crossing swords with another one, but they have no problem with ladies, okay, crossing legs. I'm just saying. But whether or not it's usually they are, watching too much corn and they are just, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. But again, how would you feel if she wanted to bring in a man? How would he feel if she yes, that's what I'm asking Moon. How would he feel if she said a man instead? Oh, you wanted your little girl friend? That young lady? No, I'd rather bring one of your friends in. How about Ralph or Ronnie or Bobby. How about one of them? That'd be a good old time. I know he would be pumping the brakes, and he would definitely be doing it in reverse. Because while he's looking at the application, looking at this other lady already in conversation with it, he don't know that you, on the other hand, may be thinking about his friend on the side. And if you all know New Edition, that was the names of a few of the members. That's why I use those names. He don't know that she thinking maybe one of his friends. Then he gonna be looking at his boy sideways because now he's the one in her fantasy. Maybe she insisted on using one of his friends. He might understand why it's disrespectful and a terrible idea. Great thought, Moondust Angel. Most men who suggest threesomes, whatever sums, and even polyamory can't handle if women want to bring in another man. Well, Ari, I gotta disappoint you on that. If you get a disease you don't know is probably from your mate, then you bring others to your bed, you don't know what you might get unless everyone is tested. Most times when men suggest either one, they just want permission to cheat. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, or Mike. I caught that and laughed out loud. Thank you, Felicia. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Yeah, if she talked about his friend, he'll wanna put it in the reverse. He'll wanna put that in the reverse and stop. But there's another show I watch. Seeking Brother Husband. Y'all, I'm like Fritz. If you pull up mine, I'll be in the same trouble as Fritz. Because hubby and I, we watch these because we don't understand how these people make these relationships work, and they do. Seeking Brother Husband. These are men who are sharing one lady in a polyamorous relationship, and they're making it work. And yes, there are African American people in there. There's one husband where he goes and he interviews the young man after she says she showed an interest, oh, I might like him. Then he goes and hangs out with the young man and he talks and he has his rules and stipulations because he cannot function as usual, horizontally with his wife. So she needs physically from someone else. So he went to interview. Seeking Brother Husband. This one lady already had two husbands and she was bringing in a third, which was an ex of hers. She's also African American lady. I'm telling you, Seeking Brother Husband, Ari, will show you there are men out here okay with sharing their significant other with another man. Ain't for me. Ain't for three. I'm good. Thank you very much. There are some buy that you think you might enjoy it. Mm, yeah, some people might enjoy it. And, as long as you have consenting adults involved in this, I'm okay. There are different array of relationships that many, I'm sure, I don't even know about. I don't even know about. There are people who have their open relationships. There's people that do all kinds of things. As long as you and, sir, knock, knock, sir, you and your partner agree to this and y'all formulate this plan together and you decide how you're going to execute it, then yes, you could probably have the poly of it all. But again, you excluded her from the planning, the thought process, everything. So of course now she's rejecting it. So y'all gonna have to have a conversation. Either you're back together or, young lady, or you call high vibe and she help you and we out. So y'all, what is your unsolicited advice for this young lady? I'm loving this. We had a wonderful chat today. I don't know if this young lady is going to stay or leave him. I, on the other hand, I'd stay and watch. I would stay and watch, especially if my lease got 6 months into it. I'm be looking both ways before I cross the street, but I'm gonna sit and watch and see how he moves and behaves. And I'll throw a little bedazzle in it by throwing out one of his friends' name, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, or Mike. And say, oh, maybe one of them. Well, you know what? Maybe let's try with one of them first. And then maybe we could go and try with her. Okay? How about we both get what we want? Not you staying and watching. You taking notes from Miss Elsa? No, no. We both watch those poly shows because we just don't know how they manage. And there's some that really do manage, but I'm not. Mm-mm. We just don't understand. Managing personalities. I already have a big personality. He's got a quiet, huge personality. Mm-mm. High Vibe said, "That's right. Call me. I'll pull up with the U-Haul and move his out. Not you." High Vibe is volunteering her services, ma'am. You could just, hit us up in the chat. Sorry, Lindsay. High Vibe is coming in with the U-Haul. He is gone. Enjoy the chat today. Have a great evening. Thank you all for being here. I'm not going to have one tomorrow. I will have one definitely on Friday, but I vote for his friend Denzel. But y'all have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. We are waiting for Love is Blind to come through, international versions. We are certainly waiting for in June. I'm going to cover History Channels alone, and we're going to keep on giving unsolicited advice. And we're going to probably do maybe tomorrow I'll do, not tomorrow, Friday I'll do LCID unscripted and get y'all to put in a post what topics y'all want to talk about. So y'all, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you share with a friend who also need a few chuckles and a few giggles, and they may need unsolicited advice. So yes, see y'all later. I'll see you on the next one.